CQ Raynet, this is G4NRC, Golf 4 November Romeo Charlie, operated today by Greg, Golf 0 Delta Uniform Bravo, serving as net control for the RAYNET-UK weekly activity net. This net meets each Sunday afternoon at 1600 hours local time and is open to all MS radio operators interested in emergency communications. The primary purpose of the net is to provide the opportunity for members to test equipment, exchange traffic news, opinions and information. And when it comes back, additional information might be found on the RAYNET-UK website at www.raynet-uk.net. This is a directed net, which means all calls are to be made to the net control station unless you are instructed otherwise, and all RAYNET-UK operators are invited and encouraged to check into the net. When you do check in, please announce your call sign slowly and phonetically, followed by your name, and if you wish to leave the net immediately after checking in, then please call in and out. Otherwise, if you want to leave after subsequent turns, then please make it clear you want to check out at that time. After I've heard a few check-ins, I'll repeat who I've heard, and if you're not acknowledged, then please try again. If you miss your turn to call in, I will call for any strays at the end of the UK and international sections. So I'll now begin taking check-ins to the RAYNET-UK weekly activity net as usual in call sign number order. So any stations with figure 9 in their call sign wishing to check in, please call now. This is G4NRC. G4NRC, second call, any stations figure 9 in their call sign, please go ahead, over. Heard. Any stations figure 8 in their call signs, please go ahead, over.
Golf 8 Echo Yankee, G8 EEY, name is Mike.
Echo Yankee, good afternoon, Mike. Any other 8s, please? G4NRC, over. I think I heard from any more 8s, so let's have 7s. Stations figure 7 in their call sign, please go ahead, over.
Golf 7 November Echo Hotel, G7NEH, good afternoon, Greg.
G7NEH, good afternoon, Graham. Any other 7s, please? G4NRC, over. Nothing heard. Let's have 6s. Stations figure 6 in their call sign, please go ahead, over. RNRC, second call from the stations figure 6, please go ahead, over. Good, so stations figure 5 in their call sign, please go ahead, over. For NRC, we don't have many in the organisation, so we'll jump straight to 4s. Stations figure 4 in their call sign, please go ahead, over.
G4NRC, 4 Kilo Uniform Juliet, G4K, okay.
G4KUJ, good afternoon, Trevor. Any other 4s, please? G4NRC, over.
Golf 4 Hotel Uniform Foxtrot.
Good afternoon, Phil. And we'll go then to the 3s. Stations figure 3 in their call sign, please call now. G4NRC, over.
Golf 3 Zulu Hotel X-Ray, Ian. in and out this week. Golf 3 Victor Echo Hotel. Chris on the Rain Peninsula. In and out this afternoon. Great. Good afternoon. Golf 3 Victor Echo Hotel. G3VH. In and out this afternoon. Greg, I think you want to miss that. G4 and RC, possibly double there, but it's got the intent. Good afternoon to Ian, Golf 3 Zulu Hotel X-Ray, and Chris, Golf 3 Victor Echo Hotel, both calling us in and out. Any other threes, please? G4 and RC, over. And RC, nothing heard, so stations figure 2 in their call sign, and that includes you, intermediate 2s. Please call now, G4 and RC, over.
2 Echo 0, Charlie Mike Sierra. Calling from Midway, in and out, please, Greg.
Echo 0, Charlie Mike Sierra. Good afternoon, Colin. Copied you in and out. 7-3s to you. Any other 2s, please? Stations figure 2 in their call sign, including intermediates. G4 and RC, over. For an RC, nothing hurts. Let's have 1s. Stations figure 1 in their call sign. Please go ahead, over. See, second call from the stations figure 1 in their call sign. Please go ahead, over. For an RC, nothing heard, so let's go for Golf, correction, Mike 0, stations of any regional secondary identifier. Please call now, G4 and RC, over.
Greg 0, Juliet 0, Alpha Alan, East Suffolk, in and out today, please, Greg.
Zero Juliet Sierra Alpha. Good afternoon, Alan. Copied you in and out. Any other Mike 0 stations of any regional secondary identifier, over? For an RC, nothing heard. So Golf 0 stations of any regional secondary identifier. Please call now, over.
Golf Whiskey 0, Juliet Lima X-Ray. Good afternoon, Greg. Name is Andy, RAYNET Pembrokeshire. No traffic today, so in and out, please. Over.
GW0JLX, G4 and RC. Good afternoon, Andy. Thanks for bringing the regular call into a close as usual and copied you in and out. Any UK station missed their turn to call in that wants to do so, please call now, G4 and RC, over. For an RC, nothing heard. Do we have any of our international colleagues on the talk groups today? That's usually Aaron in Ireland, Notice and Land of Norway, Aries of Slovakia, etc. Any international colleagues, please? G4 and RC, over.
Lima for 6 India Mike, name is Hans, in and out.
For 6 India Mike, G4 and RC. Good afternoon, Hans. Copied you in and out. And I am aware of a problem with the Region 1M core file share site and a broken security certificate. So trying to get that fixed amongst everything else, but 7-3s to you. Okay, any UK or international stations that have missed their turn to call in, please call now, G4 and RC, over. for an RC, no further stations heard. So, two fairly standard notices now. G7NEH is live streaming the net to YouTube today. Past live streams and recordings are available by searching G7NEH on YouTube. That's Golf 7 November Echo Hotel. And if you like what he does, then please do hit like and subscribe buttons so he knows it's loved. The other thing is, it's a basketball day for me again today, though it's a time-constrained net which needs to finish no later than 16:45, but with only 4 active stations on the net, I'm feeling lucky. Storm Claudia caused some disruption this week with flooding in many areas. The current weather remains warmer than normal, with the potential for a sharp decline in conditions over the next week for some areas. Winter is coming, so are you and your groups preparing appropriately? This year we're going into winter with only medium-range gas storage available following the latest closure of the Rough gas field, so reporting fill figures for storage feels a little inappropriate. The electricity industry produces data for the loss of load probability for up to 48 hours ahead, but the chances remain extremely low, and the data is usually used to signal to the market that there is a shortage of supply driving prices up to encourage some extra generators online. So the usual winter reporting cycle feels a little odd to do this time round. Now, at the time of writing, websites are reporting headlines like EE down, based on just hundreds of reports to websites like Down Detect or X. When we consider how we respond to things like flooding or power loss, how many reports would it take for you to get your group on standby just in case there is a call? And what sources of information would you trust? And finally, thanks to everyone who made the normal Friday news a bit of a bumper issue last week, meaning not so much dependency on the news from this net. Please keep it up. So, with that, let's run around what I've got. Golf 8 Echo Echo Yankee, G4 and RC, over.
G4 NRC from G8 DEY. Good afternoon, Greg. Good afternoon, all. Well, weather here at the moment is 8.6 degrees centigrade, 1013 millibars, 74% relative humidity, 75% cloud cover, and a mild 7.5 miles per hour from roundabout north. Yes, well, I must admit we have been hit. Certainly received probably the best part of about 8 flood alerts and warnings. There are currently 4 still active. I get my reports from Environment Agency Floodline and Flood Forecast. So I tend to keep an eye on them, but generally we don't necessarily hear anything from the NRF. Oh well. But I have been noticing by going around some of the local websites, local Norfolk, local Norwich and all the rest of it, that the usual suspects are suffering flooding, which is roads going under railway bridges. I say it that way around because the railway bridge doesn't really go over them, being flat in Norfolk, and unfortunately most of them tend to flood. So this time of the year we tend to get local surface water flooding as well as the usual. Good old Storm Claudia, certainly, or Claudia, certainly giving us a good washing down. Otherwise, nothing else to note from this part of the world. From G8 EEY, over.
Fate Echo Echo Yankee, G4 and RC returning. Okay, thanks Mike, and thanks for the reminder that some roads do go lower than expected under railway bridges, as there was a bit of a presumed battle in the past of who won. Did remind me of something I saw on the news, or if not the news, then on one of the YouTube relays of newspaper news. And it was flooding in that same kind of situation, going under a bridge. I think it was in the Birmingham area. What struck me was that the vehicle that was rather awash and stuck appeared to have a 2-metre antenna on the back. So rather hoping it wasn't one of ours, and equally rather hoping it was just there by natural causes rather than by going on any kind of response. So yes, there's also mean you can get a bit of vehicle spotting when you do see things on the news. Websites are things I generally struggle with trying to find them all. Did have something called an RSS indicator at one point, which could grab me headlines relevant to certain areas and present it all in one place, but it stopped working and needs to be brought back again. Alright, thanks Mike. Around to Graham with the viewing figures, which seems to be a bit down last week, so trying to figure out, since we don't warn people what gets said, how some videos get I'm not going to say viral, but more responsive than others through the weeks, Graham. G7NEH, G0, G4 and RC over.
G4 NRC, G7NEH. Yeah, good afternoon, Greg. Good afternoon to all on the net. So yeah, last week's viewing figures a lot down on the previous week. Only 16 views and 4 likes, where the previous week we were in the 60s on the views, which is yeah, very strange. Probably the lowest views we've had on a regular net. So this week's views up to now, we've had 9 views, and there are 3 people viewing at the moment. And in the chat, there's 2E0CMS and MW3 VJN have wished us all a good afternoon. So there we go. Not a lot else from me, Greg, to be fair. So no point bringing me in the next round. G4NRC, G7NEH.
G4NRC returning. Okay, right, so Colin's already called in, but good afternoon to Tristan as well. Yeah, I was looking at the figures and just trying to understand what they'd make it happen that way, but okay, it is what it is. I'm sure if we could find some kind of pattern that says every Sunday gets more views than anything else, suitably reminded, it could be even more entertaining, but we'll see. Okay, Graham, we do need to play catch up at some point for the amount of equipment I seem to have broken at the moment. Still rebuilding bits of pies and things that were destroyed on the yard and end of the link here. So we'll have to catch up with what wreckage I've got. Okay, 7-3 to you. Thanks for doing the stream today. And we'll go to Trevor, G4KUJ, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC, G4KUJ reply. Okay, good afternoon to you, Greg, and to everybody else. I'm coming in via a different route today, and I'll tell you why in a moment. I'm using the temporary repeater on a download, mainly because I did a check about 3:30 and found that when I tried an echo through the normal pi hat, it was taking about 10 seconds before it replied. So I thought, something not right there. So I rebooted the BT router and the pi hat, and it's now, the hat is working, but it's not connecting to the BT router, which I see seems to have stopped working on 2.4 gigs, which is a sort of trick it does on occasions, and I'll have to go and I think take the power off and leave it off and then put it back on to kick it back into life. Apart from that, this week HS conditions have been all over the place, as we discussed the other day, with the ionosphere being bombarded from the sun. And I really haven't done much more on getting the post office working on Arden, but we'll pick that up on during the week, because I've been a bit busy this week with various things. Anyway, it looks as if the transmission has held in okay this time. G4NRC, G4KUJ.
Hey, Chief 4 and RC returning. Okay, yes, there were no dropouts. The audio is a bit burglier than usual. That sounded weird. So, not broadcast quality, Trevor, but readable and noted that you're coming into the temporary repeater, etc. Yeah, I haven't got to the grips yet with how I reboot systems here now. I got fibre to the premise on Monday and was wondering why I wasn't getting full speed, and found in the amazing network I've got internally, I've got an old network switch that was acting as a bit of a bottleneck, so that got swapped out. So there is even less excuse for latency and poor bandwidth from me now, given the speeds I'm getting. But I think that's probably what cured me of having enough of doing IT things to fix the pies and so on. But so far I'm just not getting very stable results off what I'm testing, whether or not the GPS has died with the power glitch and or the Ether adapter. So it's a bit ponderous getting things back going again. I did pick up the 2 messages from you on Friday before I went out Friday evening, and we'll try and get some responses sent tomorrow one way or another. We'll see how conditions return. And finally on this round, and we'll probably keep it that way, and for rounds it's G4HUF. An advisory have not pushed forward to fill, but Kevin Gribben's funeral information I now have for the 24th of November. Not sure if you want to circulate that to the group or not, or what you've passed on. I've still got to check, since I think we may have seen him more recently than you in West Cheshire with his Red Cross hat on, whether I'll be able to slide out of work and make it happen across at Thursbury. G4HUF, G4 NRC, over.
This is G4HUF. Right, okay, thanks for that, Greg. Yeah, well, talking about the last point first, that was interesting because when I mentioned Kevin to both Rob and Bruce, they looked at me a little bit blankly, and Rob said, if it had been G0, it sounded a bit more familiar, but I thought, okay. Anyway, I've got to be honest with you, I'd forgotten all about it until a few minutes ago, before the start of the net, and I suddenly had this thought, and went and had a look in the call book, saw his surname, and I thought, yeah, that does ring bells now, but the call sign doesn't. So obviously he had a Class B call, which is probably what we're more familiar with regard to the gentleman. 24th, I'll have a look and see if I can do something to represent the county in that respect. No promises at this stage, but I'll do what I can. But it's got me intrigued now, thinking about whether he did have a Class B call, and that's what we're more familiar with. Anyway, not to worry. I've got nothing else exciting to mention apart from the depressing news that I've had emails from 2 more members saying that they no longer wish to remain members. So my membership numbers are diminishing rapidly at the moment, which is unfortunate, but it seems to be the trend based on comments from other groups adjacent, like Staffordshire Moorlands and North Staffs amalgamating because of low numbers. But hey ho, such is life. Anyway, good afternoon to everybody else who's on the net, and I haven't got anything else intelligent to add at the moment, so I'll sign myself out at this stage, Greg, and make sure that you get away to the the basketball on time this evening. This is G4HUF.
G4HUF, G4NRC returning. Okay, oh, sad to hear that. Was this after you'd already renewed them as well, which would increase the frustration factors? But, okay, not great. So, alright, all noted, and I will try and send you the details by one means or another to get you at least brought up to time with what's going on, but I'll see what I can do from work as well. Sorry, it's just got a bit mayhem here with Becca just coming back. Right, so to you, Phil. We'll have a very quick second round then. Might mean I can get to the game and get a decent seat. Golf Echo Echo Yankee, G4 and RC.
G4NRC from G8EEY. Yeah, nothing too much to add from this end. I mean, when it comes to sources of information for things like this, I've got email and SMS set up for Met Office, heat and cold alerts, flood forecasting and floodline. Tend to find that the SMS can go up to about 20 phone calls and SMS each per day when it's really bad. And I just had a quick look at emails for actual floodline alerts. Over the last 9 years, it's run up to 2,339 so far, and counting. So it can take up a lot of your time, and they tend to come in little floods, and tend to stop you doing anything at all of any sort other than that. But thanks for running the net, Greg. I'll let you get away to an early good seat from G8EEY.
Echo Echo Yankee, G4 and RC. Yeah, that's why I went and found an aggregator to try and pull everything together into one site. Just not very effective when it kept going down, and some of the information sources stopped supporting RSS. But yes, it's coming back again now. But yes, getting information the way you want it, how you want it, in a manner you can actually understand it, is a bit of a challenge in the modern world with so many sources. I think I've just woken Phil up by sending him a WhatsApp, which is a means I don't think we've actually used before. So, sorry Phil, that's another way you've got of getting hold of me. Okay, thanks Mike, thanks for the quick turnaround, and we finish the net with Trevor then. G4KUJ, G4 and RC, over.
G4 and RC, G4KUJ. Not much from me, just to say glad you got the two messages that I sent via WeLink, and I'm prepared to reply to Jim's question as well, so with that, we might get those off tomorrow evening. And the only other thing just to mention is that I gave the Kilo 100 set up a good workout yesterday, and that's all working fine, both on speech and FLDG for Olivia. Apart from that, enjoy your evening, and I'm sure we'll be in touch during the week sometime. G4 and RC, G4KUJ.
G4 and RC returning. Okay, well, where are we at this week? Unlike last week, where it felt like every night was a RAYNET activity of some description, I'm safe until Wednesday night on this. So yeah, I've got loads to catch up on with the way things have been going here. But yes, we'll give you a shout, and certainly we'll try and clear my traffic away to Peter Direct tomorrow before we resort to more devious means. Albeit the way HF is, it's interesting the Americans are already talking about having to go down to top band for their scheduled nets rather than occupying the more normal 80 metres, which again provokes a whole different discussion about what is for those groups who only think there's only one band they think they need to use for providing service. Okay, thanks Trevor. We will bring it to a close then. It's 16:30, so thanks everybody for taking time out of your schedules to participate this afternoon. Be careful, have a good week, and until next Sunday afternoon at 1600 local time, I will close the RAYNET-UK weekly activity net and return talk group 23531 on Pheonix and Brandmeister and 50233531 on the RAYNET-UK system, back to being an open net rather than a directed net. 730, this is G4NRC now closing and reverting to our normal course on Golf Zero, Delta Uniform Bravo. Bye bye.